So I am bathing puppies. I actually just got one done. And so I'll do a couple of them on live stream and then just talk about what I'm doing. So basically I have the puppies in their playpen outside, and then I bring them inside to their, I give them a bath and just go over them and give them, put them in their playpen inside. It's pretty warm today. If they start to look cold, then I may put a fan on them, but I didn't put a fan on them just yet because I figured the noise is going to be crazy. Just hear how loud that is. Polar puppies are pretty loud. They're not loud all the time. We can talk about that more, about the Toller scream, and they kind of get a bad rap because people talk about screaming all the time, but they really don't. All right, so I have my puppy, so I'm going to turn the water on so that it's warm. I want it to be a little warmer than lukewarm, but I don't want it to be too hot. I want it to be warm enough so that as the puppy dries, they don't get pulled down too much. So with each puppy, I get them and I go over. Each puppy has a color ID collar, so I just make sure it's not too tight. I just look at the puppy all over. When I'm giving him a bath, I can really get a sense of how the puppy feels, how he reacts to taking a bath. Feel his condition, although I do every day just to make sure they're eating enough food and growing how they're supposed to grow. This whole litter's been kind of small. I'm not really sure why, because they didn't really want to start eating food. They wanted to nurse all the time. And they're almost 6 weeks old, and they still want to nurse. Brinkley's still producing a lot of milk. So weaning them has been a little bit tough. So I got my puppy wet all over. I'm going to add a little shampoo. It's okay. It's mostly for the experience. And where I really want to focus the soap on is the rear ends and the feet, because that's what gets the dirtiest. They're pretty good. So most of the puppies, they start house training themselves. And so I can get up in the morning on most days, and their area, their little drop pen where they sleep is pretty clean. And then I put them outside. I'm going to do a little bit more shampoo on this one. I put them outside in their pen, and everybody goes poo. And that's exactly what I want to see. I want to see them starting to keep them clean. Oh my gosh, that puppy is so noisy. I'm so sorry. So, going back to the noise level, so Tollers have a bad rap because they scream, but they only scream when they're excited, or in this case, slightly uncomfortable. It's a really good shampoo. I can do the face, just for the experience. So one of the things that I do is I want my hand, there you go. I want my hand to be underneath the water all the time. Like, see, it's getting just a little bit too warm. I want my hand to be underneath the water. Oops. The whole time it's touching the puppy. In case this gets knocked or something, I want to make sure 100% that the puppy's not getting hit by water that's too hot or too cold, because I want them to have a great experience, well, as good of an experience as I can with their first few baths. These puppies have had a bath before. Good. That's everything. They've had a bath before, but I definitely want to make sure that I definitely want to make sure that they have a good time, and they don't have a bad experience in any way that's preventable. So I want to make sure I have my hand underneath the water at all times when it's when I'm rinsing the puppy. There we go. There we go. Here's a little close up of the cute puppy. This is the green female. Yay! You okay? It's okay. Alright, I'm gonna go get the next puppy. Alright, this one's the orange male. Hi. So again, I'm gonna make sure my waters, but see there, it just got a little bit too cold before I put it on. I hope y'all can hear me with the screaming. I was debating on if I was going to get my microphone, mic myself up or not. Yeah. So one thing I do with all the dogs is I do the back and the feet and underneath the puppy first. Oops, to get him used to it. And then last, oops, I get the head last. Good. And I try not to get it over his nose because I don't want him to get scared. This one needs a little bit, it's kind of a tight coat, so it needs a little bit more water. Alright. The shampoo I'm using is the Fair Advantage. It's a shampoo and conditioner together. It's just because it's what I have. There are other shampoos I like a little bit more. There's one that Cut Silk has that's really kind of a, it's a stripping shampoo, and it really makes the puppy smell good. So really what I'm concentrating on is the back of the puppy, because that's what gets in underneath the puppy and the feet, because that's what gets the most dirty. They're a clean litter of puppies, so they're starting to keep themselves pretty clean, like overnight and during the day. But that being said, they'll still kind of not really think about what they're doing when they play and then roll around and poop and stuff. So good. So when I rinse a dog, I actually go do the head first, so I do the opposite. When I put water on the dog, I'll try to do the feet in the back first to get them used to the water, and then I'll do the face. But then when I rinse them, I do the face first, because like you want to go from the highest point to the lowest point to get all the soap out. Good. So I do the back, and then lastly I'll do the feet and underneath the puppy. And then I'll feel and make sure that soap got off the underneath. And that's it. That was pretty short, huh? Where's my towel? There you go. Hi. Hi. There you go. All right. He kind of liked his bath. He wasn't too scared and didn't really struggle. He did pretty well. I need to do their nails, but I'm only subject them to one thing at a time. All right, let me get the next puppy. not just like the poo-poo and pee-pee that they get dirty with. It's the dog food. So when I feed them, I soak their kibble. It's a little warm. I soak their kibble, and then they just like stand in it. You may have, if you've seen some other streams where I feed the puppies, you can see. All right. So see, I'm gonna get the rear end first, and then the feet. And underneath. And then I'll get the head. But I won't get the nose. I don't want them to think that they're drowning. I don't want to waterboard my puppy. I don't like wasting water, but I like leaving it on so that the temperature doesn't change a whole lot. Okay. So one thing people say is, oh, our Toller's really noisy dogs. They are when they're frustrated or they see something they want, but they should be pretty easy to teach not to do that. They should, like right now as puppies, they're screaming and stuff, and I just kind of ignore them, and you know they'll get over it and learn how to be wet and slightly uncomfortable. And also as they learn how to be contained when they don't really want to be, like if they're, you know, when you're trying to crate train them, but like 10 out of 10, every single Polar puppy, when you get him into your home and he's separated from the litter and now you're his BFF and you put him in a crate and he thinks he's missing out on all this fun, he will vocalize and know they're not traumatized or have anxiety or have separation anxiety. They're a Toller puppy that would rather be doing anything else other than resting. There you go. How cute. A sweetie pie. Let me go get the next puppy. Alright, because it gets warm, I time everything around when the puppies can go outside. So first thing in the morning, they go outside and I feed them so that I can clean off, so I can clean their outside area. And then they stay out there until it starts getting a little bit warm. And then they stay inside and rest, and then I put them back outside in the evening. They'll come in and have a playtime sometimes. So like yesterday, I did a stream where they were playing, and it was because it was the weather was really bad. But I try to get them ready to go home by keeping them, putting them outside and letting them. Oops, I need to rinse you first. Oh my gosh! By putting them outside and getting them used to everything. This puppy has a lot of coat. We had rain last night. That's why the puppies are already a little bit wet. I figured since they're half wet anyway, that we could do for some baths. Good. And then I'm doing, oops, I'm doing a head wax. Okay. Just a little bit. Like I said, I want the experience. I want the puppy's experience to be as positive as possible. There we go. So, we're not trying to keep it pleasant. So, in actuality, Tollers are pretty quiet dogs. If you pull up to my kennel, you won't hear dogs like screaming or making noise. Now, if I let one out of the kennel and start playing tennis ball with them, then the decibel level will be so high it'll start causing ear damage and stuff. So it's just when they're excited, and you should be able to easily teach them to stop screaming if you ask them to, or else they wouldn't be good hunting dogs. You know, like that's their primary function. And if the dog is so noisy, you can't hunt alongside him, and that's bad. That's something that you wanna address in your breeding program. I may make sure I got all everything out. This puppy's got a coat. My goodness. All right. Little Toller baby Toller burrito. Hi. So cute. All right, I'm gonna go put her up. One more left. All right. Got the blue nail here. This one has a thick puppy coat too. Yeah, these guys are a little bit small. I'm not really sure what's going on. Their birth weight was a little small. Maybe it has to do with the quality of Brinkley's milk. I'm really not sure. You know, you can't really analyze it, but you just go by weight. And so they've been gaining weight, but usually by this age, the puppies weigh at least a pound more than the biggest ones. I'm not really sure what's going on, but they should start to catch up as they get because they're eating solid food now and relying less on Brinkley's milk. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get to the bottom of it in the next segment. And who knows, like maybe she won't have, oops, maybe she won't have this, maybe she won't have this problem with the next litter. It's just kind of like with human babies. Every time you have a baby, it's a little bit different, and sometimes your milk just isn't the quality that it needs to be. But then the next time you don't have any problems with the baby gaining weight. So I look at it very similarly. Each experience is different. And we'll see if she has more puppies next time. She had 6 this time, which seemed like it was a good manageable number for her. I'm wondering if she had 7, if I would have had to do supplementation based on the growth, close with these guys. You're so cute. Just like the others we do from the face down. What a nice puppy. Look, he doesn't seem to mind at all. Sounds like I just have one screamer over there now. The others, I guess, have kind of decided that hollering about the situation wasn't working. And that's basically what I try to teach the puppies before they go home. And I think most of the time they don't have a full picture about it, but they've had enough experiences where they've been asked to adapt, and have been made to adapt in situations that are doable and overwhelmingly positive. So you get them home and they're asked to adapt again, and they it's an experience that they're used to. All right, stay there. There. My last towel was all the way over there, covering the bird cage. So I've got a Quaker parakeet, and it suspiciously sounds like a Toller puppy. And I haven't had the Quaker that long, and already he sounds like the puppies start lighting up, and he just adds into it. And not that it's a big deal. I think that if I was really fussy about noise, I probably wouldn't have a bunch of dogs. Good puppy. So cute. Oh my gosh. Another burrito. Here we go. All right. Okay, well that was my last puppy giving baths. I'll go ahead and make this public, and then I'll share it with everybody. You're so cute. I hope y'all could hear me. So we'll see. I'll go over it. All right, bye-bye.